stable exchange rate, the lowering inflation, those are just one side of the story.
Plus, ahead of Anambra governorship election, INEC chair engages security agencies, speaks strongly against inducement.
Any attempt to induce voters before or during the Anambra election must be resisted and curtailed.
Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Adiola Komi Akiri. And our businessman, Benny Adams, will be keeping us up to speed with latest happenings in the world of business. Benny, could you give us a tip of the iceberg?
Well, it's about mixed fortunes in Nigeria's capital market, as well as the South African GSE Top 40, as well as the Ethiopian markets. We'll bring you details in the course of the bulletin.
Many thanks, Benny. And of course, Bade Adele is standing by with Sport Update. Bade, what do you have for us tonight?
Good news, Olajide. Nigeria's Super Falcons are through to the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And you know what? They'll be fighting for an 11th African title, unprecedented.
Many thanks, Bade. Remember, you can watch these broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Nigeria and Denmark are hoping to expand their scope of partnerships through a public-private partnership arrangement. President Bola Tinubu received founder of Bestsellers Foundation, a Danish private investor, in this regard. State House correspondent Musbah Wahab reports.
It's a new hope for an expanded partnership in the communication, innovation and digital economy sector. The minister got a prospect for an improved collaboration as he led the founder of Bestseller Foundation to the president. The Bestseller Foundation already has presence in cultural and sporting sectors in Nigeria, but the founder acknowledges that the Tinubu's administration's reforms are opening up new investment opportunities in the country.
We really admire your country. We admire the reform that you have taken the leadership of your country. And we understand that this is no easy task, but it's meaningful work. And we definitely applaud that from afar. And this is also what is a part of our sincere interest in coming here and seeing what we can do. We clearly see opportunity, we see the talent, we see the creativity. Some of it, we admire in our daily life in Denmark, whether it's music, whether it's fashion. We want to be a part of what we believe are a great time ahead for your country.
This indication is a welcome development for President Bola Tinubu, as he says his government is ready for any partnership with specific interest in youth development.
And particularly innovation and digital economy and cultural value and sporting is one of those aspects of Nigeria that we are trying to nourish. And we will partner with you. I promise that.
President Tinubu adds that various reforms instituted by his government are geared towards maintaining the status of a country as the giant of Africa.
Nigeria prides itself in the continent, and we believe that it is only here that we can energize the growth and inclusiveness of prosperity in our continent. If we don't partner with people like you, we will have failed. We are looking forward to a prosperous, rewarding future for both of us.
We're speaking to Denmark, but also quite a number of investors in Denmark to invest in our fiber optic network, where we're putting $2 billion US dollars. The government is investing 900, and that's already done. But we're getting private investors to also top up that money. So that's largely where we are pushing to ensure we can secure further funding.
The Bestseller Foundation founder is the richest man in Denmark and largest landowner in Scotland. From the State House, Musbah Wahab, NTA News.
Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says government remains committed to safeguarding the lives and livelihoods of every citizen, irrespective of ethnic or religious affiliation. The minister made the clarification on the United States cable news network, CNN, while addressing claims by U.S. Senator Ted Cruz that the security challenges in Nigeria target Christians alone. The minister described the allegation as totally untrue and asserted that Nigeria accommodates all religions and there is freedom of worship.
We do recognize that we have security challenges in the Northeast, but once upon a time, some of the territories around the Northeast were taken over by Boko Haram. That is no longer the case. They were holding about 14 local governments at a point. That is no longer the case. Traveling around the country was a problem at some point. That is not the case. Nigeria is working hard. The government of Nigeria is working hard to ensure protection of lives and properties, and also ensuring that people go about their businesses the world over. Some of the claims made by some officials in the United States is based on faulty data. Some of them, on some assumptions that the victims of this religious violence are largely Christian. Yes, there are Christians that have been attacked, but these criminals do not just target one religion. They target Christians. Yeah. They also target Muslims. We have seen that in several parts of, especially the northern part of the country. So yes, indeed, we have security challenges in Nigeria, but we also have to recognize that there is a massive drive by government to ensure that Nigeria is ultimately safe for everyone.
Mohammed Idris stressed that government is committed to the safety and freedom of citizens as enshrined in the Nigerian constitution.
It is actually working to ensure the security of lives and property of everyone. Christians, Muslims living side by side each other. Our constitution guarantees the right of every citizen to practice his religion, whether you're a Christian or a Muslim. And the hierarchy of our government, there are both Muslims and Christians, live in harmony, working together to ensure the return of security and of lives and property all over the country. And we're achieving that in that direction.
To what could be best described as frank talk on how best to manage Nigeria's scarce resources by top Nigerian economists and financial administrators came to the front burner at the Oxford Think Tank Leadership Conference 2025 in Abuja. Abubakar Akwanga reports that Minister of Finance Wale Edun says the economy is on a growth trajectory.
It was a gathering of accomplished and successful Nigerian industry players of many years' experience and dedicated service to the nation. Now, key discussions centered on fuel subsidy removal and utilization of its proceeds and bottlenecks to free enterprise economy anchored on transparency and deliberate policy frameworks.
The improved growth rate, the stable exchange rate, the lowering inflation, those are just one side of the story. And the most important aspect is the human side.
But there are 40 minerals that we can exploit in commercial quantities. Why aren't we exploiting those 40 minerals in commercial quantities? Why are minerals still in the exclusive list of the federal government?
To say that there will be hardship is not an economic argument. To say that there will be a cost to removing subsidy is not an economic argument. The economic argument is, this is the cost of removing the subsidy. What is the cost of not removing the subsidy?
Prosperity requires more than just huge deposits of raw materials. Long-term progress is initiated and sustained by the discipline of leadership, the power of ideas, and the courage of execution.
Please, if you notice, I'm talking broadly. I didn't say leadership only in Nassau Rock. I'm talking about leadership across the entire spectrum. What makes some countries in Europe function, what makes some in Asia function, is good leaders at various levels.
The Oxford Think Tank Leadership Conference also dissected the national policy reforms and ways of strengthening resources and closing gaps in the economy. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The federal government is intensifying efforts to boost its revenue generation through solid minerals sector, just as seen in other African countries that are not endowed with crude oil. To achieve this goal, a sensitization exercise on the implementation of the new solid minerals data rendition system has been organized by the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission for states in the Northwest Zone. Yohanna Hassan Barrow reports.
For decades, Nigeria's solid mineral sector has been described as one of the country's untapped treasures. From gold and limestone the nation is richly endowed with, yet mining contributes only a small fraction to Nigeria's GDP. Experts say this is largely due to poor data management, illegal mining and lack of transparency in the system, challenges that have limited the sector's growth and deprived both federal and state governments of much-needed revenue. But recent reforms by the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, in collaboration with the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, Mining Cadastre Office, and Miners Association aims to change the narrative, beginning with a new emphasis on data accuracy and accountability.
It's a wake-up call to look into the sector very well and see where we are lagging behind.
With participants from Northwest Zone, the focus is clear: to educate participants on the new solid mineral data rendition system.
We have to tap what God has given us.
It will be a very good workshop that will lead to the success in the issue of revenue.
Now, when you are bringing data, we will know where the data is coming from.
For participants, believes the initiative will not only strengthen transparency, but also boost local economies and create more jobs for youth in the mining sector. In Kano, Yohanna Hassan Barrow, NTA News.
Now let's move to the National Assembly, where the Senate has slated Wednesday for the confirmation screening of the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, and the new service chiefs. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the Senate resolves to fast-track the process to enable the appointees commence work immediately.
Sincerely, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
President Tinubu's request for the confirmation of the appointees was read at the commencement of plenary, after which the Senate promptly resolved to carry out the constitutional mandate expeditiously.
I would like us to do it tomorrow.
Those expected at the Senate chamber Wednesday are the Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyede, as well as the Army, Naval and Air Force chiefs. In another development, senators approve other appointments of President Tinubu for the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission and commissioners for the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Meanwhile, Senate says the removal of Nigeria from the Financial Action Task Force grey list will impact on the country's economy. As lawmakers commend President Tinubu, the EFCC, ICPC, NFIU, CBN, among other agencies, for their efforts in implementing reforms and enforcement of regulations.
They will boost investor confidence and reassure the International Committee on Nigeria's renewed commitment to transparency. Will also go a long way in giving our anti-corruption agencies full participation in the fight against corruption.
Because of the reforms being introduced into the country by a leader who has the passion, the political will to change the entire spectrum.
For several years now, Nigeria have been paraded as dangerous to the financial setting. But today, Nigeria is no longer on that list.
Away from plenary, the EU Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee delegation was at the Senate as both sides solicit enhanced collaboration.
If you have any recommendations how to further deepen the cooperation, the partnership between the European Union and Nigeria, between Nigeria and the European Union.
We applaud the relationship between the European Parliament and the European nations, European Union with Nigeria.
The delegation will proceed to Ghana for similar engagements. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill to amend the Proceeds of Crime Act 2022 to provide a unified legal framework for the recovery, management and disposal of proceeds of crime in Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ekpen reports that the bill is proposing several amendments which include protecting the rights of the whistleblower.
The amendments to the Proceeds of Crime Act seek to make the process of handling forfeited assets clearly defined with timelines for determination of cases. The House believes adjustments to the Principal Act will bring Nigeria's laws on forfeited assets to be in line with international standards.
It will recognize virtual asset and digital proceeds of crime by establishing a national confiscated wallet for the virtual asset to be managed by the Central Bank of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It will equally provide for whistleblower and witness protection mechanism, empowering relevant agencies to receive, investigate and act on credible information while ensuring safety of the whistleblower.
A separate bill seeking establishment of the Nigerian FinTech Regulatory Commission also scaled second reading.
To provide clear regulatory framework for a FinTech industry, ensure that operators comply with the established standards and guidelines, protect consumers by ensuring that fintech companies operate fairly.
In another resolution, the House asked the Federal Ministry of Works to undertake repairs of the Kano-Kari Highway as dilapidated portions are reportedly facilitating criminal activities.
The road remains in deplorable conditions, inhibiting free flow of traffic. Urge the Ecological Office of the Federation to address failed portions in Sara, Guaram local government area, Jigawa State.
Lawmakers are also working to strengthen internal security of Parliament with the public hearing on the bill for an act to provide for the establishment and functions of the Legislative Security Directorate in the National Assembly.
We have experienced car thefts, motorcycle thefts, vandalism, fake identity cards, unwanted visitors accessing the National Assembly without documentation.
This piece of legislation, if passed, enable the Parliament to do their legislative activities, which distinguish democracy and other forms of government.
The House urges state assemblies to equally strengthen their internal security systems. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ekpen, NTA News.
Let's take a break now. The news continues in a moment. Do stay with us. Thanks for being there. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, says Nigeria under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is preparing to establish a medical city, a self-sustaining ecosystem of world-class healthcare services, research and development, and associated industrial development to support the Nigerian market and content at large. Professor Pate said this while touring the Manila Medical City in the company of the Philippines Minister of Health, Dr. Teodoro Hebosa, on a working visit on the sidelines of the Stop TB Board meeting in Manila, the Philippines. The coordinating minister stressed that Nigerians' medical tourism spending has dropped by 52% over the last 2 years due to the increasing local treatment options.
There's a possibility that Nigeria can, in fact, have an ecosystem, a medical city that provides quaternary services for Nigerians, for countries in the West African sub-regions, and also overall in the continent. Can provide services, research, training opportunities in an ecosystem that can be sustainable.
When I was in Abuja, we also saw how the public-private partnership also worked in Nigeria to combat TB. So we are high-burden countries, Nigeria and Philippines, and we are both learning from each other.
It's 11 days to the Anambra governorship election, and any attempt of vote buying or electoral violence will be addressed squarely with uncompromising response. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amokwiton and the Office of the National Security Advisor handed out the warning at an interagency consultative meeting on election security in Abuja. Mie Ogidi reports.
All eyes on Anambra State, November 8, a day of decision. Voters to vet the candidates' credentials, records, and surrender their sovereignty to the most suitable for the number 1 seat. Electoral violence, vote buying, the enemies of democracy. INEC Chairman Joash, just 7 days in office, 11 days to face his first task. The Anambra decides. And here discussing with security agencies to strike on vote buying, electoral violence in Anambra State.
That any attempt to induce voters before or during the Anambra election must be resisted and curtailed. With our collaboration with the law enforcement agencies, especially the anti-graft agencies, to stop vote buyers from contaminating our electoral process.
Any form of violence during the elections will be met with strong, uncompromising response.
All vigilante groups will not be allowed to have any role to play during this election.
Assurance quite encouraging, but active voters' participation another big issue. And collection of permanent voters' cards in Anambra State expected to end Wednesday, October 29th. But INEC has reconsidered its earlier deadline.
And decided to extend the ongoing collection of permanent voters' cards, PVC, in Anambra State, starting from Wednesday, 29th of October until Sunday, 2nd of November 2025.
No much time for rhetorics, but action by all stakeholders for fair exercise. Mie Ogede, NT News.
And away from electoral matters, Governor Umar Namadi has flagged off a groundbreaking cash-out social protection scheme targeting aged and vulnerable citizens in Jigawa State. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that the initiative aims to strengthen social inclusion, reduce poverty and enhance the well-being of the state's most vulnerable groups.
The newly launched Cash Out Social Protection Scheme is designed to provide direct financial assistance to aged and vulnerable citizens across 287 political wards of Jigawa State. Under the program, a total of 5,740 beneficiaries, representing 20 persons per ward, will each receive 60,000 naira, bringing the total of disbursement to about 300 million naira. Governor Umar Namadi explained that the intervention is part of his administration's deliberate effort to tackle vulnerability and improving living standards through inclusive governance. The initiative is being implemented through a strong partnership between the State Rehabilitation Board, the Ministry of Women Affairs, and the Jigawa State Contributory Health Insurance Management Agency, in line with the state social protection law.
This component provides psychosocial support, home visit, and counseling services to address issues such as loneliness, neglect, and emotional well-being among the elderly.
The state government is not only reducing poverty and vulnerability, but also affirming the value and contribution of our older population to community development.
Our social protection model has been recognized nationally as a model of structured, transparent, and accountable implementation with more than 9 states.
With this latest intervention, the Jigawa State government says it is building a society where poverty is reduced, inclusion is deepened, and every citizen is valued. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Of the Federation, Senator George Akume says the federal government has remained resolute in building Nigeria's trade and transport infrastructure to ensure no part of the country is disconnected with the ports of global trade. He stated this in Jos at the inauguration of a conference hall built by the Nigerian Shippers Council, inaugurated by APC National Chairman Professor Ntawe Wadda, and named after the SGF. In Deyang and Deyaba Gang reports.
The state-of-the-art 250-seater capacity conference hall, named after the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, at the North Central Coordinating Office of the Nigerian Shippers Council, JOS, is equipped with modern communication systems, clear sidelines, and networking foyer, which allows for conferencing, learning, and high-level engagement.
We are hoping that it will not just be an edifice for the sake of show,
but we are going to get something tangibly out of this.
The hall will enable us have, conferences, hold conferences where policies are reviewed, and where stakeholders come to rub minds.
The SGF says the edifice is a statement of mission, testament of commitment.
Responsibility for building and sustaining infrastructure rests on collective partnership between government agencies, private sector, development partners, and their host communities.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy Adeboyega Oyetola, and the National Chairman of APC, Professor Nentawe Ilwada, all represented, say the facility signifies the deliberate expansion of the blue economy mandate into Nigeria's hinterland and connecting inland regions to global trade's value chains.
It also reaffirms the Council's strategic role in promoting efficient logistics, trade facilitation, and economic development across our great nation.
The ministry has rolled out a marine and blue economy policy which has never been before.
Other speakers described the edifice as a testament of the federal government's determination to create infrastructure that supports learning, collaboration, and commerce. In Jos, Indenyan and Abuja, NTA News.
Retired Deputy Comptroller General of Customs, Bello Muhammad Jibo, has been conferred with the traditional title of Bardenya Gwandu, first of its kind in Gwandu Emirate, Kebbi State. He was turbaned by the Emir of Gwandu, Muhammad Ilyasu Bashar, at the Abdullahi Fodio Palace in Birnin Kebbi, drawing dignitaries, traditional rulers and well-wishers from across the country. Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa reports.
Historic Abdullahi Fodio Palace in Birnin Kebbi was filled to capacity as the Gwandu Emirate held a grand turbaning ceremony for 19 distinguished individuals. Among them, the turbaning of retired Deputy Comptroller General of Customs, Bello Muhammad Jibo, stood out as he became the first ever Bardenya Mangwandu, a title symbolizing bravery and leadership in western region of the Emirate. The colorful event attracted traditional rulers, dignitaries, and guests from across the country.
This is a mark of honor by His Royal Highness to all of them for their contribution.
For you to see all of us coming all the way from Lagos down to Kebbi, you know the kind of person he is.
In his remarks, the newly turbaned Bardenya Mangwandu pledged to support the development of the Emirate and contribute positively to the progress of Kebbi State.
With the experience we have gathered over these 35 years, I think we should be able to come together and ensure that we bring development, we bring unity, and we ensure that the state, the Emirate, progresses.
Also present were representatives of the Comptroller General of Customs, serving and retired officers, family members, friends, and well-wishers who came to celebrate the honor. Born on December 15, 1965, Bello Muhammad Jibo had his early education in Nasarawa, Birnin Kebbi, attended Federal Government College, Ijaniki, Lagos, and later earned a degree in English from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. He also holds a master class certificate in strategic leadership and a honorary PhD in human development, among other educational merits. He joined the Nigeria Customs Service in 1990, rose through the ranks, and retired after 35 years of distinguished service as Deputy Comptroller General. Throughout his career, he served in various states and capacities across the country. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
Now let's join Adiola in Lagos for stories making the rounds from that zone. Good evening, Adiola.
Ajide. Golden Penny Foods Limited, a brand of flour mills of Nigeria PLC, has continued to produce winners in the company's 65th Buy and Win promotion campaign, offering 4 billion naira worth of prizes to its loyal consumers. Lane Lineker reports that winners from the second draws were presented with their prizes.
These winners were drawn from the weekly anniversary draws. Golden Penny Foods Limited has continued to live up to its mandate of maintaining the production of nutritious, superior quality brands through the National Consumer Promotion. The 65th anniversary of the Golden Penny promo, according to the management, promises to feed and enrich lives.
It's the Golden Penny 65th anniversary Buy and Win Golden promotion.
The lucky winners were presented prizes such as washing machines, refrigerators, television set, and air conditioners.
To my surprise, I got a message that we won. At first, I thought it was a lie. I didn't take it serious. Not until I got a call, and then it says we're supposed to come and get the prize. And lo and behold, I'm here. I can see the gas cooker live and direct.
My fridge is here with me, and I'm advising people outside to continue buying Golden Penny products. It's very nice.
I won a washing machine. When I was called at first, I did not believe. But when they called me back yesterday, I was like, wow, it's real. It's wonderful.
The management of Golden Penny Foods Limited says it is committed to enriching and celebrating their consumers for their loyalty over decades, which is hinged on business sustenance.
All I can just tell our consumers is keep buying, right? You never can say, just keep buying. You have to buy the 10 packs of Golden Penny noodles, 3 of any of our pasta brand. It could be the couscous, it could be the macaroni or the spaghetti. For every of the pack you buy, there's always a recharge card underneath. So keep trying, keep buying, and keep winning.
The Golden Penny Buy and Win promo campaign, which began on the 22nd of September, will run for 10 weeks and allows consumers to participate multiple times to win the ultimate prizes. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. The news will continue after the break.
Good to know you're here. It's time to talk business. Now it is crystal clear the global energy landscape is undergoing a significant transformation as countries strive to limit greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the impacts of climate change. To this end, CISLAC and partners are adding their voices to the conversation with the launch of a report that provides a comprehensive set of policy recommendations.
Among other things, this report has attempted to examine the role of tax incentives in Nigerian residual fuel industry and their implications for the country energy transition policy alignment and sustainable development goals.
We are currently computing the exact revenue losses that might arise to implement the tax laws without adequate stringent measures to put in place transparency measures with strong civil society, multi-stakeholder programs oversight.
Every naira that we forego in incentives is a naira forgone in revenues that could have gone towards education or health and even energy transitions.
And talking revenues, investors lost 90.73 billion naira as market capitalization dropped to 98.61 trillion naira, halting what had been a long bullish run for the Nigerian exchange. The market showed a mixed activity across sectors, but strong interest was noted in stocks like MTN Nigeria, which posted a good gain. However, declines in other heavyweights contributed to the overall negative close. South Africa GSE Top 40, measured by its key indices, had a positive trading day, while for the Tunisia Tune Index, it was a marginal loss at the end of that transaction. That is it on business. Alajide, we can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny, and it's always nice doing business with you. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, says Nigeria is the next destination of a dependable global livestock market. Visited these are the 2025 Animal Science Meeting and Industry Exposition. Yusuf Jika reports.
The 2025 Animal Science Meeting brought together industry players within the livestock value chain to discuss and ensure that the sector stands tall in the global market. Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Mukhtar Meha, said the industry is fast gaining tracks from across the globe, reiterating the Gulf nations' commitment to partner Nigeria and livestock-related businesses. He challenged the gathering to come up with a Nigerian animal breed to fit into the global market's demand, which Nigeria has been placed high in meeting these gaps.
Here we are with everybody that can make it happen in this room, under this roof. We have huge opportunities today. The Nigerian red meat market is $3.2 billion, and if you can take every kilogram to the Middle East, there are off-takers. They are waiting for us today.
With the establishment of the Ministry of Livestock Development, Nigeria has formally aligned with global best practices in recognizing the livestock sector as a critical economic pillar.
High point of the event were the induction of 252 members, 5 associate animal scientists and honorary fellows, and the Minister of Livestock Development and Professor Atahiru Jega. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTN News.
The Alumni Association of the National Institute, ANI, congratulates one of its members, Lieutenant General Olufemi Olushola Oluyede, on his appointment as the Chief of Defense Staff. In a statement by the President of the Association, Ambassador Emmanuel Obi Okafor, commends President Bola Tinubu for the inspired and merit-based decision in recognition of Lieutenant General Oluyede's distinguished service. He says it is a testament of the Institute's continuing contribution to producing strategic leaders who combine sound policy understanding with tested operational competence in the service of the nation. The Defense Headquarters is hosting the Nigeria Security Actors Gender Symposium, aiming to boost inclusivity and gender balance in the country's security setup. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that top security officers, international partners and gender advocates are discussing ways to promote gender mainstreaming in security institutions.
Women over 100 million strong form the heartbeat of Nigeria's families and communities. Yet many still face marginalization and vulnerability, particularly in times of conflict.
This symposium,
at a gathering of top security officials and international partners, the call was clear. Women must take their rightful place at the heart of national security. Speakers underscored that waving gender perspective in security strategy is not just about inclusion, but about building lasting peace, trust, and institutional strength.
Mainstreaming gender is not merely an institutional requirement, but a strategic imperative, one that enhances our mission effectiveness, strengthens trust within the civilian population, and contributes to enduring peace and development.
When women meaningfully participate in peace processes, the resulting agreement is 64% less likely to fail and 35% more likely to last at least 15 years.
The symposium also highlights the importance of implementing gender-sensitive policies and advance gender inclusivity in the armed forces.
Government commitment and development partners' commitment should not be limited to just having gender policies. The content of those gender policies should be implemented.
The symposium is expected to strengthen collaboration among security agencies and further institutionalize gender inclusion as a core value in national security. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Nigeria Police Force has reaffirmed its commitment to professionalism, integrity and accountability through the promotion of deserving officers. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun intervenes at an event with senior police officers who were just promoted to the top brass of the force. Francis Form reports.
It is the elevation of a DIG, 4 AIGs and 11 commissioners of police. For the IGP, the elevation was merited based on professionalism and enjoined them to contribute effectively to the new policing order of the force.
The landscape of crime is evolving, driven by technology, complexity, and global trends. The Nigerian people expect a force that is smarter, more responsive, and deeply connected to the communities.
With higher rank comes greater responsibility to lead with integrity, uphold justice, and strengthen public confidence in the force.
Service, dedication, honor, and loyalty.
I promise that I will not disappoint
the Nigerian police force.
We are going to give in our best to ensure that we reduce crime and criminality to the barest minimum.
We are praying to Almighty Allah, guarding him, follow him.
Look at the new national anthem. Follow it. That will guide you in your conduct.
I so much hope and believe that they will justify this confidence that is reposed on them.
The ceremony concluded with a renewed call for officers to view their promotion not as a privilege, but as a solemn duty to serve Nigeria with courage, wisdom, and unwavering integrity. Francis from NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news continues shortly.
Now let's talk sports on Network News tonight, as the House of Representatives has ordered a probe of the accounts of the Nigeria Football Federation from 2015 to date. This followed the adoption of a motion on the floor stressing the need to investigate alleged misappropriation of grants from FIFA and CAF, reportedly in excess of $25 million.
Further recall that in December 2016, FIFA sent an audit query to NFF over the misappropriation of the US $1.1 development grant to NFF.
The House Committee on Sports are on top of the situation, and we have even gone ahead to invite NFF to come and explain all the details.
I have the conviction that the current leadership of the Committee on Sports are able and capable to handle this matter.
Away from that, let's let you know that Nigeria's under-17 women's team, Flamingos, are on the verge of exiting the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Morocco. The coach Bankole Oluwokere-led side are now currently losing 4-0 to their Italian counterparts in the round of 16 encounter. After holding off their opponents for 44 minutes, the Flamingos conceded in the 45th, 58th, and 63rd minute, and now they just conceded another in the 93rd minute. All right, but before we go, let's let you know that the Super Falcons are through to the 2026 WAFCON after playing a 1-0 draw with Benin Republic earlier today. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Olajide.
Many thanks, buddy. And that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.